Now this illustration deals with applying both derating factors in accordance with table 310.15C1 and then also the correction factors in accordance with table 310.15B1 and B2. Now notice that we must always find out what the terminal rating of the conductors are in accordance with 110.14C1. That's both at the equipment supplied and at the circuit breakers in the panel board, as you see in the illustration. Now, if the overcurrent device is 100 amps or less in rating, then they're automatically 60 degrees C terminals without your breaker terminal ratings are 60 or 60/75 or 75. Now, in this case, we have listed in the illustration, they are all 75 degrees C rated terminals. So we know what we're dealing with here. Now, the informational note 1 in item 1 is right below the service equipment. And it shows that these conductors are routed through a raceway and through an ambient of 100 degrees Fahrenheit. Now we have exceeded the 86 degrees Fahrenheit listed in table 310.16 in the NEC. Now, number 2, we're calculating the load in accordance with 310.14A3. Informational note 1, item number 2. So we're taking the connected load of 14.4 amp, multiplying 14.4 amps times 125% to come up with a connected load of 18 amps, as you see in the informational note 2 boxed in calculated load information. Now, item number 3, we're applying 310.14A3, informational note 1, item number 3, as well as 110.14C1A, because the overcurrent device rating is less than 100 amp in rating. Now, all terminals listed there are 75 degrees C, so that means we can use the 75 degree ampacity column in our table 310.16. Now, number 4, we're looking at the informational note 4. We're reviewing 310.14A3, informational note 1, item number 4, and we have 8 current carrying conductors in the raceway. So this is what our 310.15C, referring us to table 310.15C1, list in item number 2 or step 2 in the calculated boxed in information. Now let's review that. We're finding the allowable ampacity of conductors. Step 1, we refer to table 310.16, a number 12 THHN in the 90 degree column in the table lists an ampacity of 30 amps. And remember, the 90 degree column is only used to derate for adjustment factors or correction factors. Step 2, we're applying table 310.15C1. 8 conductors require 70% derating. So applying step 3, we go and reference our table 310.15B1, and based upon 100 degrees Fahrenheit in the 90 degree column, we have a 91% derating factor that we use. Step 4, 310.15C1 now. We are applying step 2, the 70%, and step 3, the 91% value. And when we do our math, 30 amps times 70% times 91%, we come up with 19 amp. The question is, will 19 amps supply the 18 amp connected load? Or, the calculated load? Yes, it will supply both. Will the 19 amps be permitted to put on a 20 amp overcurrent device as required in 240.4D? And the answer is yes, as we see in step 3. So the solution is, based upon 240.4D and table 310.16, a 20 amp overcurrent device is required on the number 12 conductor, which would be good for 20 amps, and will supply the 18 amp connected and calculated load both in accordance with this illustration, figure 4-3.